Alright, we are back with a new chapter for One Piece. The start of 2022 has been absolutely bonkers, and it seems like it's going to continue with chapter 1038. So I'm going to try doing a new schedule where I do a first read-through reaction on the latest chapter on Friday, and then do a more in-depth analysis on the focal points of the chapter on Sunday, when the official translations are available. There will be spoilers in this video, and my recommendation for you to not get spoiled is to go and catch up to the manga. The pacing in Wano especially is 100% doo-doo in the anime, and I actually know why, but I'll share that later. That being said, the crazy starts with the chapter cover, and I'm so glad I always look at them. So for a little while now, we were getting updates of Germa 66 through the chapter cover stories, and I think the first one started with their escape from Whole Cake Island, and now we got a really spicy update where Niji and Yonji, Sanji's brothers, are shown to be captured by the book guy in Big Mom's crew. You guys already know by now I'm really bad at pronouncing names, so if you guys can help me out with the pronunciation in the comments, that'd be great, thank you. It's the same book where Big Mom keeps the various races as a collection. It shows that they are in Chocolate Town on Cocoa Island, and it seems like pudding and oven are present. I think this definitely eliminates Germa from showing up on Wano. It seems unlikely that the chapter cover story would drip into the story so close together, but that explains what Reiju, Judge, and Ichiji are doing now. Then the spiciness continues. The first panel gives us the highly anticipated Great Ninja battle between possibly the two greatest ninjas the world has ever known. Is this battle actually gonna meme ninjas this hard? This is actually hilarious. High key, it's kind of like Oda straight up memeing Naruto fans and even Kishimoto with this goofy fight sequence. That being said, based on my prior theories, if Raizo can't control fire after this, I'm gonna be upset. This is some fire intimacy. If that doesn't make sense, then definitely go check out my Elemental Hockey video. Zooming through the next part, we get good guy Jinbei being a good Samaritan in the midst of a war, as expected. But after my last chapter 1037 video, I really don't want to see Jinbei alone. It's scaring me to think what might happen when we're not looking. And now we get to a really interesting page with Chopper. So I went back to count this. Chopper has been in Baby Geezer Chopper mode for 21 chapters. So for almost 6 months now, Chopper has been in this sad state, and I never really thought of it until recently. It looks like they're going to be squeezing out a whole new merch line for Chopper this year. But so, has there been another Devil Fruit with this kind of rebound effect? Chopper took a Caesar enhanced Rumble Ball to instigate this recoil effect, but why is the recoil similar to Luffy coming out of Gear 3rd or Gear 4th? Is there some kind of connection? It's also weird because Luffy turns into a kid, whereas Chopper turns into a baby but also an old man. Does that have to do with the fact that the Rumble Ball new effect takes a toll on his body and his brain? And I'm glad Chopper is on my wavelength. Ever since my Zoro Future King video, I've been waiting to get updates on what will be the aftermath of the Minx medicine on Zoro. I'm not sure if you guys follow me on Twitter, but I keep dripping more clues where it's like Oda is hinting Zoro to be more like an animal rather than a regular human being. And here's just another example. He took a medicine that was created by Minx and probably only ever used on Minx. What side effects does this medicine have? Will my theory come true? It will be insane if Zoro comes out of it with white hair and being able to turn into a Minx-like creature. But that's a stretch. From this page, we just know that Zoro is absolutely ravaged. Like, this is a setup for another Nothing Happened Thriller Bark scene. Literally a parallel, but this time, this is in the middle of an arc. This is not post-climax, and as we learn later on in the chapter, the threats on Onigashima are still plentiful. Zoro has to have a second wind in this arc, right? The amount of strain he's gone through, though, is absurd, and then think about the amount of lifespan he's probably had to sacrifice to do all of this. And all of that is a perfect segue into the next panel. So this is my honest reaction here. When I first saw and read this panel, I had to check if I was reading One Piece. I swear it felt like Zoro got lost in another manga. This made me feel like I got lost. What is going on here? There's a Grim Reaper. Like, that's definitely not Brook. If that's Brook, that's the biggest meme ever. Could you imagine Brook pranking Zoro like this? I mean, we haven't seen Brook, but he should be with Robin and protecting her. I don't see him memeing Zoro while he's down like this. So is this actually a Grim Reaper? I mean, it's not a silhouette. We see bones, we see a skull, we see a scythe. Like, let me just double check again. No, I'm on the right manga here. How does Zoro manage to find himself in these situations? Like, last time he was in the gates of hell, the most un-One Piece feeling thing happened, and that was Ashura. Like, I'm not sure about you, but when I first watched Ashura as a kid, I remember having the thought, like, this is One Piece? Actual demon gods? And so of course Zoro does this and manages to summon a Grim Reaper. And so I'll be honest again, I usually have connections or ideas for you all, but no, I'm actually drawing a blank here. Like, what if that's just another user of Brook's fruit from like the past? The other thing that I thought of was in the Ace novel, one of the Spades pirates seemed to have a skull mask, but this doesn't seem to look like him. It seems like Zoro is just as confused, because I was thinking, oh, maybe this is what Zoro sees when he's pushing death. But nah, he is just as confused, so this seems new to him too. I guess it could be Enma, which would be crazy because then it brings a whole new realm of possibilities for One Piece power potentials that even I didn't foresee happening to this extent. Alright, I'm gonna sit and think about this one, and I'll probably bring it back up for the Sunday video. Moving on with the chapter, Frankie needs observation hockey. Like, this map shows that he's literally right there next to Zoro. My dude needs to invent Find My Friends or Snap Map or something. And now we get to an interesting scene. We see the absolute mayhem that Izo caused, and the guy left was questioning life. But I'm gonna be honest, I did not expect Izo to be this injured and damaged. That was my innate reaction, but I think something that has to be addressed is the term fodder. Like, I feel like we say fodder too freely, because as Izo says here, their fodder is still beast pirates and smile empowered fodder, and probably varying degrees of hockey use. And Kaido has been said to have the strongest army, so this makes sense that Izo got overwhelmed from a 1v however many, and I think this was highlighted also with Luffy going through Onigashima. He realized that their fodder and fighters were actually kind of strong. So my current synthesis is Izo is dope. He soloed this and it makes sense that he is injured, though I'm gonna knock down my power leveling expectation of Izo, but this next part is the real test, I guess. So we get this interaction with Izo and CP0. They wanna just act like they didn't see Izo and Izo didn't see them, but they clarify their focus is the Straw Hats. It's interesting they didn't just flat out say Nico Robin. Does this mean my chapter 1037 theory is right? They are going for Jinbei as well? I think this is really interesting. Izo is visibly damaged, like in tatters almost. The CP0 are relatively pristine post their fight with the numbers and Apu and Drake. They have the numbers advantage here, but they give Izo so much respect for not trying to blitz assassinate him while he's weakened. So this tells me CP0 senses with their observation hockey an insane power level from Izo that is worth respecting, which is again impressive considering how strong these CP0 members seem. They did no diff Drake and Apu pretty much, but after they say that they're going for the Straw Hats, Izo stops them. Izo looks like he's on his last leg, but is Izo actually strong enough to stall these CP0 members like this? Does that mean Izo is that much stronger than Drake and Apu in the numbers, even while in this state, that Izo could 1v2 them? Does that make sense? The outcome of this interaction will say a lot. In the next scene, Yamato finally makes it to the armory. We get to see what actually is the threat, and I'm kind of curious what these bombs were meant for. And the question that I asked before about what Yamato was going to do about the explosive situation, and the people in the comments said she'll probably freeze them, and that's actually what she did. I forgot she can vomit a freeze ray. It's kind of funny, like Dragon having Boro Breath, which is flames, seems plausible to me, but Ice Breath's mechanic seems goofy for some reason. But that's just a me thing, probably. Also, another goofy thing, it's pretty convenient that clothing here has such fire resistance. Would have been a real tragedy to see nude Odin. You already 100% know the anime is going to have a field day with this scene, and there's going to be like 20 seconds of clothing melting here. They might not, maybe, I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Alright, jokes aside, we get to the chapter title part of the chapter. Law and Kid versus Big Mom. It starts out with Big Mom ruthlessly beating on both of them, and mainly Kid here it looks like, while their crews beg for her to stop. She seems like she's about to kill them. To be honest, it'd make more sense had she tried, but she instead turns around and looks to go check on Kaido, figuring he should be done by now, but as we saw in last chapter, he's having the time of his life right now. And then due to Big Mom's lapse in judgment, Law used his awakened move again, and this time it looked like it did maximum damage. We definitely have never seen this out of Law before. Law extends his sword, and the internal explosion he caused looked like it did insane amount of damage. And then the homies go to protect Big Mom, but then Kid comes in and defends Law by magnetizing the steel beams. Okay, alright, I just want to pause here. I'm on the side that says Law is 100% carrying this fight. Kid is high-key useless. But that being said, I want Kid to be good. I'm making a video in the future on both of them. But like, Kid does not help me out. A bunch of you asked me to expand on my thoughts of Kid's fruit being the awakened fruit that the Gorosei talked about, and my response was I want to see a few more examples of his powers, and I hope the future chapters gave us those examples, and it did. Like, this isn't what I wanted. Isn't it just super convenient that the homies attacking Law are all steel? Big Mom doesn't have any non-metal regular homies, and I like what Kid says in the final panel, but his move is just the same thing where he slams Big Mom just with a metal bull this time. Like, okay, I'm probably gonna sound like a hater here, but what is the difference in him hitting her with a metal arm, bull, or throwing steel beams at her? I can't tell if Kid's moves are actually damaging her, whereas Law's moves are 100% damaging her. Kid right now feels like the kid on a sports team that you pass to score, and they do something wild and always miss. Kid needs versatility. His ability should make him super versatile. Projectiles, mobility, obstructions, distractions, destruction. Like, they're making it honestly seem like Luffy's rubber fruit feel more broken when Kid's fruit is actually super broken. I'm kind of losing faith in Kid here, if he's just gonna keep on being linear with his ability. But that being said, maybe magnetism isn't actually his power. Maybe it's something else. But rant over, I'm gonna be honest, I hear some people consider Kid betraying Luffy and Wano, and now for sure it doesn't feel like it. On top of the new intro opening for the anime, we get this line where Kid actually stakes his life on protecting Luffy. He says he has this weird feeling that's basically forcing him to fight, and both Law and Kid together proclaim that Big Mom will only get to the roof if they are dead. So that was definitely cool to see, but I think the definite highlight of this chapter was Zoro. The two panels were hilarious and scary, but also cool and exciting. Anyways, I got a lot of videos planned. Hopefully you guys are keeping up to date with the One Piece theory puzzle I'm working on and focusing with the Yonkos. Make sure to subscribe, and if you want to support me and love my content, please consider joining as a Patreon or buying my merch. I promise the sweaters are worth it. As always, thank you guys for connecting with me, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you all on the next Part Vision.